Hey, yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Cameron Air Productions coming at you with another video. And in today's video, we are actually editing some of the photos I took back when me and Mel went to the Everglades. I have not had a chance to edit these, so I thought maybe I should make a video about this. I've also had some people tell me that I should make some videos and show you guys how or what my editing process is when it comes to editing my photos. This is the way I edit my photos. This is not the correct way, or I'm not saying this is the correct way of editing photos, but this is how I do it, and I want to say they come out pretty good, you know? So let's just hop into it. Alright, so first thing I'm gonna do is actually, guess I already tried to crop it. The first thing I'm gonna do is actually crop the image to keep it or make it a little bit more symmetrical. And so I'm gonna do this. We're actually turn this into, this is the aspect ratio. The 4:5 is usually for Instagram. That looks pretty good. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, basically I crop the image to make it as symmetrical as possible. That's my style. I really like leading lines, and I like leading into a certain point of the image, and that's what I did here to create or to follow this bridge. So then I hop into the basic sliders. We got exposure, we got contrast, highlights, shadows, blacks, whites, whatever. Basically I start with the exposure. The exposure is pretty good, I'd like to say. I didn't have to move it that much. I didn't have to move it at all. Then next thing I do is add a little bit of contrast. I bring back the highlights so I can get some detail in the sky. And then I bring the shadows up so I can get some detail there. And that was Facebook. Then I do the same thing with the blacks, but I bring them down a little bit so they can give that little punch of contrast. Some creators use the sliders here, or the RGB curve, and make an S curve. I really don't do that. I don't see the point of it because I don't know. I don't like it. Next thing I want to do is maybe adjust the white balance a little bit. Never mind. It's fine. Another thing I do for my photos is I adjust the colors. Now, I really don't like that much green in this photo, so I will bring these down and make it into like a light brown, maybe. And then this is saturation, so it makes it like gray, but I don't want that. And this makes it white. I get really distracted editing photos. So, add a little bit of texture, add a little bit of clarity. Nah, I'm not gonna touch the clarity or the texture. And then I add a smidge of vignetting, right? And then I'll add a mask, right? Giving that the subject is like the bridge and like leading into the pathways. I'll make a mask, and what a mask basically does is it edits everything outside of the circle. So that all that's in red basically gets edited, and everything that's inside the circle basically stays the exact same the way I want it. So then I turn that off, and then I look at how much it affects the image, and then that's pretty much it, you know. So before, after, I'd like to say that looks pretty good. So then a key tip I do if I took a lot of same pictures at the same time, at the same day, same type of style, same settings, basically, what I'll do is I'll copy these settings, and for the next picture, which is, we're gonna go back here, the next picture which is this grasshopper, I'm just gonna do one of these, I'll probably paste it and see how it comes out. And then that basically takes all the settings or all the different adjustments I just did for the first image of the bridge and throws it onto this image, basically. And so yeah, that's the before, that's the after. It gives that good type of vibe, but you can tell that the grasshopper's not really, you can't really tell the grasshopper's in it or like the main focus of the subject. So what I'll do is I'll crop it a little bit. I'll do a 4:5 as well. Well, let's do it. So like that. And then we'll do one of these. And then I'll maybe, Pop. And then another thing I'll do is I'll actually lift this one a little bit of the blacks, and then I'll lift the whites a little bit because this picture was underexposed. Yeah, underexposed. So bring the exposure up a little bit, and then I'll add another mask. And since we have a clear subject this time, hello. Oh, I've made too many circles. I'll make another mask clearly around this grasshopper that was the size of frickin' Mia, my dog. It was the size of the dog. It was crazy. I'll add a little bit of vignetting, which is basically just bringing down the exposure a little bit so you can tell it's brought down. Sometimes I'll even throw in, I'll bring down the texture and the clarity so it dehazes everything around it so you can tell like what's in focus and what's not in focus, and then it gives it that type of feel. And yeah, there's the before, there's the after, cake. Editing with Anja. Yeah. Here's another photo of that grasshopper. With this one, the composition is terrible, so I'm just gonna say that now. I did a terrible job. But we're gonna just throw this into a 4x5 for Instagram. Hello. Okay. We're gonna throw this into a 4x5 by Instagram, and then we're gonna do the exact same thing. Paste the settings I pasted before, but because this image is like really white for some reason, it just looks orange now. So sometimes I'll just start from the scratch, and then we'll bring down the exposure, bring up the contrast to give it a little bit of color. Highlights, we'll bring them down so it can give it some detail. Gross frickin' bug. What is this? This is the shadows. I'll bring those up, bring the whites down a little bit, bring the shadows, blacks. Bring the blacks down a little bit, and then this is like, yeah. I'll bring down the hue, add a little bit of texture in that, and then vignetting a smidge, and then I'll add another mask so I can clearly define what the subject is. And then I'll do the exact same thing I did to the other one. Bring this down, and it smoothens everything out and adds that extra layer of like blur or bokeh, but it's fake. So yeah, that's how you do it. Editing with Anja. This one, I don't know what I was looking for. I thought it'd look really cool, so we're just gonna do a quick little paste. Wow, that was really dark. So in this situation, same settings I used for the first photo, but I'm gonna bring up the blacks a little bit, and then the shadows, and then the exposure has to come up a lot actually. We'll add some contrast. The highlights must go a little bit down so it's not over showing that. Yeah. And then the hues, you see that affects what color the grass is and the green is and all that. So that's basically what that shows. And then all my vignetting and stuff is shown. And then the main focus is this lily pad right here. So I'm just gonna add a mask to that. And then blurp, darken everything outside the circle, which will be shown like that. Yep. And then bloop, bloop. I think that came out pretty good. And all the, not all of them, the ones I like will be on Camera Nerd Productions on Instagram, so check it out. Another thing I'll do, crop it 4x5 for Instagram. Did that one cropped? Did I crop this one? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Alright, next photo. This one. So I've seen, this one has a different story to it. I've seen a couple of photos like this, similar to this, on Instagram, and I was like, I want to create my version of it. So this was as best I can get. English. This was as best as I could get to what I saw in my head, and yeah. So first thing I'm gonna do is crop the landscape and make it as symmetrical as possible. Just because I like my lines being symmetrical. That's still not straight. Okay. We're gonna do this slow 1, 2, blop. Alright, that looks about good. I like my stuff being straight, so that's why I edit the way I edit. Some people like it crooked. Some people like their subjects out of frame. I don't edit like that. So yeah. The next thing, I got distracted. the next thing would be bringing, well, we'll see how it looks with this. It's okay, but I want to start from scratch for this one. We'll bring down the exposure a tad bit. The contrast, we gotta up it a bit as well. The highlights I want to bring down because the sky was just blown out. The shadows I feel like can stay where they are, maybe up them a little bit. The whites can also go down, so I can bring some of that. But actually, you know what? We're gonna leave those the way it is so I can show you guys something else. We're gonna add some of that and some of this. Now, this right here is called a linear gradient, which is basically the same thing as a, I know what it is. Can you stop showing it? I got it. It's basically the same thing as a the circle mask, but it only goes for that side of the image. So what that does, if I, yeah, there you go. You see, I adjust the highlights and all that. I don't like that either. We delete that. Go back to the original, and then we bring down the highlights. Bring down. I don't know why I did that. I'm gonna be honest with you. It should have just done this exact thing, but yeah. So yeah, that's what that does. Edits a certain section of the photo instead of like everything that's around it, and then the brush does the exact same thing. So yeah, and I don't know if I said this, but all of this is edited on Adobe Lightroom, and yeah. So that does that, and then I'm gonna do the same thing with the green, and it gives it that kind of like Africa feel. And I'll go to the blues and maybe turn them. Oh, that's teal. Oh, that's purple. Make them a little bit more blue with saturation. Saturate. And yeah, I think. Oh, just kidding. I think that looks pretty dope. Black and white. Oh, maybe black and white. Maybe I'll make it black and white. I'll keep the color. So yeah, that's that. I might add just this so you know that this is my subject. Yep, that looks pretty dope. Before, after, that looks pretty sick, yeah? Yeah, I think that deserves a like. Like this video right now. Stop the video, pause, like the video. Alright, next thing we have here is a flower. Looks like a pretty dope flower. I think it's in focus. It is in focus. Good thing. Here we have the background. We have some foreground that creates some layers. That's why I took this photo like this. I specifically put my camera in front of the tall grass so that could stay where it is and keep it asymmetrical and stuff like that, and keep some foreground so it adds some layers and depth to the image. So first thing we're gonna do is check if it looks pretty cool with the original edit I did. I think that looks pretty dope. Does the exact same thing as before, maybe add a little bit more vignetting, and maybe lower the whites and highlights a little bit, and then maybe I'll even change the color of the flower. Do I want it blue? Do I want it pink? Interesting. I think blue looks pretty dope, yeah? Pink, blue. I think blue looks pretty cool. I think I might just leave it blue. Yep, blue it is. And then, oh, just kidding. And then we add another mask. Lower the exposure a bit. And that looks pretty dope. Original, edit. Original, edit. This actually might be the thumbnail. That looks pretty dope. I really like this photo. I might print this photo. Let's see in black and white. I don't like. It looks good either way. I'm gonna keep it in color because I feel like this is the same theme. So, especially because I changed the color of the flower, which is. Next thing we have here is a dragonfly. That's a big bug. We have a dragonfly. If you are afraid of bugs, I just skip this one, I guess. We're gonna do a little crop. Give it a little 4x5 action going on here. I forgot to crop this one. Crop. 4x5. So Instagram doesn't do it. My crop, let's bring it down because I want that bug in the center of the frame. It's too high. Right there. Bam. Give you a little background, a little midground, a little foreground. Bam. All right. So we check if the that's, you see, that's why we don't do that. That doesn't look good. It just looks like a bunch of orange. First thing we're gonna do is exposure. Bring it down a tad, like a tad. 0.25 is what I brought it down to. Then we're gonna do one of these bad boys. A little bring up a contrast. Then we're gonna bring out the highlights. See what it does. All right, shadows. I feel like I'm gonna be And then what is this? Oof. And then we do a little one of these. That looks pretty dope. You can already see the difference. And then we're gonna add a little bit of texture so I can define the wings and stuff. Cause like, yeah. And then a little bit of vignetting with the vignetting tool. And then we'll add one of these bad boys. But that's too small, so we're gonna do one of these bad boys. And we'll keep it right there. And that looks pretty freaking dope. Another thing I'm gonna do is change the color of the grass to a lighter green, which looks great. We got before, after. Man, these photos are coming out dope. Here we have a picture of Mel Jefferson, also known as a current guest on the vlog all the time. I don't know what we're doing on this one. We're gonna see what this does. We're gonna start from scratch so you guys can see how I edit separate photos. So we're gonna do a little. What time are we on? 17 minutes. Oh my gosh. We're gonna do a little 1-2 right here. We're gonna do a little up on the contrast. We're gonna bring. Actually no. Yeah. We're gonna do that. A little. Okay. Whites. We're gonna bring them down a little bit. Blacks. Right there. And exposure. Maybe I'll make this one black and white. I'll make this one black and white. It looks pretty dope like that. We're gonna restart all these by double clicking on those. Alright, so we're gonna do a little same thing, but bring this down, bring this one up. Well, we should crop it first. 4x5. Dead space. Alright, so centered leading lines, trees. Okay, so we're gonna bring this one up. And then when you turn a picture into black and white in Lightroom, it gives you the ability to adjust certain colors in like black and white formation. So right there, I could just burn Mel's forehead for some reason. Everything that's orange, look, now he's just really dark. Okay, really uncomfortable. So yeah, it gives you the ability to adjust defined colors, which makes it really dope because look, that tree's green, yeah? So everything that's green gets really dark. And then we got aqua, which is his bag, I guess. We got blue, his mask was blue, so that does that. Purple, I guess there's purple in the sky, that's cool. Magenta, okay. So yeah, I basically turned all those down so I can give it a little more pop to the image. And then we got texture. We're gonna just bring that up right there. Clarity, oh, clarity right there, vignetting. Right there. So we got before, after. That actually looks really dope. I'm saying this about all the photos. I like these photos. Like, they're not that bad. That one looks pretty dope. Just because it's black and white. I really like black and white. So it gives it that aesthetic film vibe. Yeah. Here we got a gator. This guy was, when we were on the airboats, he just popped out, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, a gator!" Ah, and I was like, "Picture." Yeah. So this one's different. Maybe I'll do it black and white too. I'm gonna do this one in black and white. We're gonna do one of these 4x5 crops. We're gonna make it bigger. Oh. That looks pretty dope. It has a lot of dead space, but it is what it is. We're gonna bring up the contrast. We're gonna bring down the highlights so it doesn't do that thing to the water. We're gonna bring up the shadows. And we're gonna bring down the whites. And then bring up the blacks. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep the blacks right there. Then same thing with this. There's no red in this, so I don't know. But green, you know. What color is this thing? Oh, blue. Blue is what color it is. Alright, so you see, because the water is mainly blue, it does that to the water. But I want to keep it maybe +7. What color is the gator itself? What does this do? I don't know what that does, but I don't think I'm going to touch it. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with clarity and all these bad boys, and then bring this down instead. Oh, just kidding. We're going to do this. Clip, 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 clip. Yeah, the composition, no, that's not the right slider. The composition on this one isn't all that, but black and white, and it's an alligator, so sue me. And then we got this dude with the really bad, I took a really bad picture, I'm sorry, guy. We're gonna do a little 4x5 crop, Instagram, and then we're gonna crop out his head. Because the main focus is my dog, the alligator. Crocodile? Comment below. I don't know what it is. So first thing I'm gonna do is probably line that up. I'm gonna line up homeboy right here. I'm gonna line it up with this rail. Well, you can't see where I'm pointing, but this rail right there, and then I'm gonna do the exact same basic corrections. Highlights and whites are usually brought down because that was not exposed properly. My fault. And then we're gonna do a little 1-2 with this, but this guy's not even green, so I don't even know what I'm adjusting. And then this, and one of these. And it gives you that oh, he's gonna eat me. And so yeah, we bring down the exposure on everything else to focus that homeboy is the alligator. Crocodile? I don't know. Before, after. That looks pretty dope. Did I do it before and after on this one? Before, after. Before, after. So we got that. And then I think that's the last one, yeah. That is the last one. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. And if you learned anything from it, that's great. It counts. And yeah, back to what I was saying. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. Comment below. Let me know if you like these types of videos. If you do, I'll make more of them. Maybe in episode 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on if you guys like it. If you don't, let me know. If you do, let me know either way. Yeah, all these pictures are gonna be on Camera Narrow Productions. I think there's 10. 10. Does it tell me how many are selected? 10. Up here it says 10 photos. All these are gonna be on Camera Narrow Productions. I hope you enjoyed. See you next Wednesday. I don't know what to cut to, but bye.